Poet Mary Oliver writes, "To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and, when the time comes, to let it go, to let it go." I am so sorry you're going through it, and also so grateful to be in any way a part of your journey towards continuing. And with that, if you haven't already, you may close down your eyes, and on the next breath, give yourself a long exhale. Take in all the air you need. Allow it to be the longest, slowest exhale you've had all day. In again. And this time, let the exhale be even longer. And since loss can be so tender, so painful, you may find it comforting to start by gently placing your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand on your right shoulder, and allowing the warmth created as your arms cross to feel like a loving embrace. Deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Now allow your focus to move to the part of you that is most connected to this loss, most impacted. It may be shock or disbelief, a sense of anger and blame, longing, maybe deep sadness or despair, powerlessness, could be guilt, a tender pain of separation, maybe something else. Whatever you land on in this moment, acknowledge that it is here right now. Name it. Whisper that name to yourself or just say it in your mind, but give it a name. You can name it grief if that feels right for you. It is part of the grieving process. You may have been unwilling or felt unable to acknowledge this part of grief until now, and that's okay. It's safe now to notice it and to notice its intensity. How strongly do you feel it? Notice its location in your body. Where does it live? In your chest, your stomach, somewhere in your head? And even in that place, is there one spot where you notice it most strongly? Get a sense if you can notice its size. What's its volume in your body? Is it heavy or light? What color is it? Notice its texture. Is it smooth? Gritty? Does it move? Does it have a smell? Does it make a sound? And to continue exploring this grieving part, you may move your body into a posture that fully expresses what this part has to say. Allow even your facial expression to communicate what's going on inside you. Notice if it wants to make a sound. Allow. If it is feeling safer and safer to express even the most vulnerable parts of this feeling, allow even more. Now see if this part has anything it wants to tell you. You may ask how long it's been trying to express this. You may ask what work it's been having to do to try to keep this all together. And how difficult has that job been for it? What else does this grief want you to know right now? And when it feels fully expressed, you can release any posture you were holding and get comfortable. And you may notice how you're feeling towards this, the most vulnerable, impacted, grief-stricken part of you. No judgment, just notice. It may be care, concern, compassion, but if it's something else, see if you can ask that other feeling, maybe aversion, resentment, fear, whatever it may be that's not helpful in this moment. See if you can ask it if it would be willing to stand behind you, if that resonates. Or simply to relax, to create some space so that you can better be with this very vulnerable, grieving part just for now. And if in doing so you can sense any acceptance, compassion, sympathy, the love you may have for the grieving part of you and the work it's been trying to do. Just lean into that. Knowing acceptance doesn't have to mean that you like it, that you want it, but simply that you're acknowledging what exists right now in the present moment, rather than pushing it away. You may even want to place a hand in that place where you located this part, or if you prefer, a hand on your heart, and breathe into it. Allowing that breath to go to where that feeling is living. Offering any soothing, loving energy that may flow towards it. You can notice or perceive what you would be left with if this grieving part, whatever name you gave it, wasn't working so intensely. What would you be left to feel or do if this feeling weren't quite so intense? Or what would you be left to realize, to believe? And see if in doing this work you found any more space to sit with that. This grieving part of you may be connecting to a part of you that is younger, a past version of you that lingers. And you might ask that grieving part what it needs from you now. Is it more love, acceptance? For you to see it and just be with it? Maybe there are words it needs to hear. A deeper breath. And notice if you can send it what it needs. And if that's too difficult for you right now, you can imagine a source of love and strength and wisdom flowing through you and offering that healing towards the grieving part. It could be from God or a higher power, a future version of yourself, from an ancestor, a loved one. Notice their healing, loving intention flowing to that grieving part. And even more, how that grieving part responds to having its needs met. It may be a tiny bit more presence. It may be a drastic shift. Whatever it is right in this moment. And notice if now anything in you has shifted since you began this process. Anything at all. Ask yourself what it would feel or look like to not make grieving wrong, but to allow it to exist just as it is, while you continue to make space for it. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, return to the room, and trust that this process is available to you whenever you need it. I love you.